We're back. Here's you want a book that's a lot of fun to read, I recommend this one. It's called What's My Line? And I don't imagine there's anybody who's ever watched any television who has not seen What's My Line. It was the longest running and most popular panel game show on television for 25 years. And Gil Fates was a producer of that show. And in his book, he points out some of the crazy things that happened in all of those years. And he's got some film clips of some special moments that took place that you're going to see tonight. So would you welcome, please, Gil Fates. Gil? God, it was like deja vu when you walked around there. It's like going back a few years.
Talking about Margaret Sullivan. He said, do you remember Margaret Sullivan?
Right.
I took her to a party once. And do you know whose party? It was George Bernard Shaw's 90th birthday.
You're kidding.
I mean it.
Wow. That's fascinating. She was a great actress.
Yeah. Well, he was in Ireland, and we had the party at the Waldorf Astoria. But then
I had more fun going through this book the other day. Having been associated with the early days of television, and those of us who started in the late 40s and early 50s, it brings up fond memories. 25 years that show was on.
Yes. Started in 1950 and expired in 1970.
I'm going to play some trivia because I want to see how many people remember. Because I remember the very first sponsor of What's My Line.
Deodorant. Oh,
yeah, it was a deodorant. Who knows? How many of you can remember? Stop it. Stop it. One guy could remember. Stop it.
And you know, I think probably, that's very good. Yeah. The greatest deodorant commercial slogan was coined by Hal Block, and it never got on the air.
Was that the one?
Hal Block, and he said, it said, make your armpit a charm pit. They never picked it up.
Never picked up on it.
No imagination.
Hal Block was on the show in the early years. He was a comedy writer. And with the show, which probably was the most successful, it was a great idea for a game show.
Very simple.
And simple, and it's like all good game shows, to tell the truth. Mm-hmm. And Hollywood Squares, it's simple, and they can run forever. But when it first started, people weren't sure whether it would be successful at all.
It was a disaster.
Yeah.
It was a total disaster. We went on in the Grand Central Station studios. You remember, it was a barn. It was a converted area above the waiting room in Grand Central Station. And we started there in 1950, and the first show was a total shambles. Everybody was nervous. The lighting looked like a police lineup. They nailed the set together with the thumbtacks.
All black and white, of course.
And all in black and white. And why we ever got on the second week, I don't know. But somebody had a thing, and we just went from there.
Incredible show. How many thousands of people went through that show in all those years? The regular panel to start with, of course, Hal Block was on it, but it really came down to Dorothy Kilgallen, Bennett Cerf, Arlene Francis, and Steve Allen, more or less.
Right.
And then Fred Allen was
in there. And then Fred Allen followed Steve.
I think I did about 6 of them as...
no, you did...
More than that?
9.
You did 9? What's
you did 8. You did 8 as a panelist and 1 as a mystery guest. And your first one was in 1956.
Are you serious?
I'm absolutely serious.
I was doing Who Do You Trust at that time.
At 56, you had just started it.
Just started?
So that's 22 years.
Here we go. That's incredible. And the mystery guest is interesting. You bring out some wonderful things because most of the panelists got so hip after a while. They knew who was in New York. The idea was to hide the mystery guest before they... So nobody would know who they were. You've had some last-minute things. The Judy Garland story.
Yeah, well, Judy...
Because this was live. This was all live.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And Judy was in... this was late in her career. She came in, and there was this terrible goings-on up in the dressing room.
Couldn't find the right dress.
Couldn't find the right dress. People kept coming down, threatening to quit. And finally, the last thing was, and this was about a minute and a half before we were to go on the air, she said she wouldn't go on unless she got paid $500 in cash. Well, nobody had $500 on us. And not only that, we've been in business 20 years paying people by check, you see. But so finally, Mark Goodson volunteered to go on as a mystery guest. So we powdered him down, and he was out there practicing his Plattdeutsch accent, and was all ready to go, and we literally had 20 seconds. And all of a sudden, Miss Garland strode in and said, how much time have we got?
And went on.
And she said, we have 20 seconds. She says, well, what's all the fuss about?
Let's get to some of these film clips. And I don't know what order they are. We've got a monitor right over here. Gail, you can watch. Do you remember the year?
Have you ever played leading man? Are you under 48?
Your partner was related to you, but not by marriage. Maybe
Well,
it's
in a
Francis
way, he was
Mule.
related.
Yeah,
The
was it-
partner is related in a way. It's a matter of association.
Well, could the partner have been an animal or something of that sort? Oh, I know. Would you answer the description of a pin-up girl?
No, but thank you.
Then I would say, with the permission of our guest, that the area is a very broad one, and I would not be able to let... Arlene, I was quite honest when I said he is a writer now, because Groucho has written a book, Memories of...
Four books.
4 books, but I mean a new one.
Memoirs of a Mangy Lover.
Memoirs of a Mangy Lover. Only he could do that, you know. When is it coming
We're
out?
going to have the pleasure of distributing.
Thank you.
You're going to distribute it, Bennett?
Yes.
Oh, fine.
It'll
Fine.
be out the 18th and back again the 19th.
Maybe it is an animal or bird. Because they're coming. Is it... Has the mystery guest appeared on television?
Yes. All right, I don't know.
What?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, has fit on television, Mr. Carson.
Can you do a yellow-bellied sapsucker?
Guess the year.
What?
Guess the year.
I don't know what year that would be.
That was 63.
1963.
1963.
1 year after it started the show. We started the show in 62.
Right. Very funny thing. I must just, if I can, on Groucho, he was on and he gave that thing about back to 19.
Right.
And they had no book to show. So finally he said, well, where's the book? Bennett, you're distributing it. John, don't you have the book? And he got up and he grabbed Daly by the hand. He said, this has been a total wasted evening.
He was wonderful. Now, we're going to go back. I understand I am the mystery guest here?
Yes.
I don't
You haven't
remember this.
seen it.
I have not seen I don't remember
62,
it.
1962.
Just before I took over the show. That's why
Exactly.
you... Okay.
All right, panel, you all, I think, know the rules. One question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you a motion picture star? Beg your pardon? Are you primarily a motion picture star?
No.
That's one down a mind to go, Mr. Gates.
Are you a man?
What?
Are you a man?
Yes, sir, there are reports.
Miss Francis?
Yes.
Yes.
If you are not in pictures, are you represented in any other part of the entertainment world?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Randall?
I have a feeling you're not Jane and Mickey. Are you a comedian?
It's just at times, yes.
Miss Kilgallen?
Are you sure it's a man?
Yes, we are.
I have affidavits.
Puts it all in perspective. Gee, that's fun to look back on that. Those were some wonderful years because the shows were alive, and some of the greatest lines on that show were done extemporaneously. And in the book, I think Steve was wonderful on the show.
Yeah.
Steve Allen. He had a little girl on once who, if I remember, she had a little pail and shovel.
Yeah, little girl. He was interviewing a
He was
little
interviewing
girl.
a little girl and says, "Oh, what
And
do
he
you
says,
have?"
"What
She
do
says,
you
"I have a
do?"
pail of shovel."
Right.
She says, "What do you do with the pail and shovel?"
She says, I dig.
She says, "I dig," and Steve says, "I'm hip." I mean, it was
like
wonderful lines on that show. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. I dig. I'm hip. This is really a fun book. You will enjoy this. It's nostalgic. There are a lot of very funny lines in here, and it kind of gives you a history of the early days of television, which people say we dwell on too much, like the golden years, but they were fascinating for those of us who were in it, and I think for the viewers. I hope it's a big hit for you, Gil.
Well,
thank you for being here and sharing some of that.
Thank you for asking me, John.
Oh, by the way, I want to mention tomorrow night, we are, with all the Christmas specials that have been on over the past couple of months, we are doing our own Christmas special tomorrow. called the Andy Davidson Christmas Family Special, which I think will wrap up all Christmas specials once and for all with families on television for this holiday season. Dick, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Bert Convy will be with us, opera star Marilyn Horn, Betty White, Paul Tracy, and our Christmas special. Thank you. Have a nice night. We'll see you tomorrow.